Hello, my name is Angelia Malbrough, and I'm a cancer survivor. I survived cancer 10 years ago. That moment was supposed to be my big turning point, the comeback, the celebration, the new lease on life. But surviving a very aggressive form of cancer was only the beginning. But if I'm being honest, the fight really never ended. In fact, I think I picked up a new fight. I've spent the last decade of my life in a different type of battle, one that I never imagined, one that would be harder than surviving cancer itself. I've been fighting just to find decent health care. Here in Arizona, trying to find quality endocrinology care has been a full-time job for me. I've called dozens of offices. I've done Google searches. I've went as far as asking people for referrals, asking other doctors for referrals. But what I found was a wall. What I found was a bunch of roadblocks. What I found was a ton of bad reviews. And after surviving this very aggressive form of cancer, I decided I wouldn't go and put myself in another box, in another situation where I had to wonder if people had my best interests at heart. You see, my conversation and my story may not be just like yours. In fact, my story is different. Everybody has a story, but my story is this. It took me 7 doctors to get a definite cancer diagnosis. And God only knows how long I had been dealing with cancer, being dismissed, being unheard. But looking for cancer support is one thing. Looking for help after you beat cancer is another. There have been times I've called doctor after doctor after doctor. Some never answer. Some just take your name and number, and they may call back and they may not. And when they do, they tell you there's a 3 to 6 month wait on average. And that's if they take your insurance at all. In fact, I've been asked more about my insurance before anyone ever took the time to ask me about my story or my symptoms. Now, I know you're not here to just hear about my story in the doctor's office, especially when you're in a busy office where you have to call hundreds of people back a day, I'm sure. But it only takes a moment to get clarity. And I've actually considered and made plans to travel outside of this country, outside of this state, just to get my thyroid medication. And truth be told, I've had to resort to just going to the ER because that seems to be the only time and the only place your voice may be partially heard here. This level of exhaustion, this is not just physical, it's emotional, and it's wrong. The truth is, a lot of times it's not the doctor. It's the front office. The voicemail systems that are set up to just take your name and number and they'll call you back. The tone of the emails, if you get one at all. The person who forgets the patient on the other end is not just a chart item, but a human being trying to survive another day. And let's be honest, I've gone to doctors who have gotten me mistaken with other people. And I dare not think that I would want you handling a diagnosis for me, handling any type of lab work for me, handling anything that could cause me to lose my life. And let's be clear, I understand. I have friends that are doctors. I know how hard you work, and I am not blasting you. I'm here to bring clarity to people just like me that are suffering in plain sight. When you're sick, you're vulnerable. When you're hoping someone, anyone will just care enough to help, but you often hit a wall, a brick wall. let's be honest here. This isn't just a personal problem, and it's not just my problem. This is a systems problem. This is a leadership issue. This is a brand issue. If a client experiences something like this, it's a crisis. Because anytime you're in a situation where someone's health is at stake, it's a crisis. And if this sounds familiar, or if your practice is constantly fighting poor reviews, leaving loyal clients on their own and losing good clients, or even struggling to rein a hold on the staff and struggling to retain good clients, good staff, I want you to know this. It's not too late to turn this around. In my consulting business, I help organizations, medical practices, and customer-facing teams to rebuild their reputation from the inside out. Because branding isn't just visuals. It's how people feel when they interact with you, your staff, and your office. It's the culture of the workplace. It's the legacy of every patient interaction, especially when the patient is vulnerable, scared, or in need of real help. I teach leadership development. I offer brand strategy, but most importantly, I bring back the heart of hospitality into places that have seemingly lost it. Now, I'm not sharing this information, this conversation to bash you, but I do feel it is my duty as once being on the other side of the token where I'm expected to perform. Now I'm expected to perform in a different way, to be a voice for the voiceless, to be a voice for the person that just got diagnosed with terminal cancer because it wasn't caught in time. I'm sharing this because I want to help someone. I'm sharing this to build. I want healthcare providers to know that your front desk is more than a space for your staff to sit. I want healthcare providers to know that your front desk is not just another spot in your office. I want you guys to know that your front desk is just as important as your board certified credentials that you have gracefully placed on your wall. Because every single time a patient gets ignored, rushed, dismissed, or forgotten, you're not just losing a client, you're losing trust. And it's more than just having your client to go somewhere else or having your patient to go somewhere else. This literally could be life or death. And the sad truth is, I've seen too many people give up because the experience is horrible, but the illness is worse. We can do better, and we must. If you're a healthcare provider, clinic owner, or practice manager, and you're ready to improve the brand from the inside out, then I invite you to have a conversation with me. Let's talk about how to build a practice, not just efficient, but trustworthy. Because when people trust you, they'll keep coming back and they'll bring others with them. Visit AngeliaMalbrew.com to book a consultation or to learn more about leadership training for healthcare and service-based teams. It has been my absolute honor to have this conversation with you. Continue elevating your staff, elevating your team, and putting people in positions to win. I'll see you guys next week.